Let's go. And welcome back, everybody, to Movies and Beyond. This is our daily news show. I know I said daily, we missed yesterday because Kyle's nan died, but we're over that now. So yeah, Kyle, how are we doing? Apart from the dead nan.
Um, I'm doing okay. Hmm. No. No, we couldn't do yesterday because my eye thing really started up. I went to the opticians today. They're giving me some stuff to try ease it for throughout the day and stuff. But it's still pretty fucky. I can't lie. It is a pain in the ass. But I mean, it's just a talk show. I should be fine.
It should be fine to
Um.
talk.
Mhm. I mean, I might look like my eyes, might go a bit red. I might look like like a typical Kyle rage quitting, looking like I want to punch a drywall or some shit. But no, I'm okay for now.
Hell yeah. But I tell you who is wanting to punch the drywall right now, Kyle. Warner Brothers. The Flash has come out. We both seen it. We both seen it twice. We both rather liked it. I, in fact, would say I kind of loved it. It's made $55 million on its opening weekend. Now, don't get me wrong. Any other film opening to 55 million is great. Not when you're The Flash and you've got an estimated budget of nearly 300 million. What do you think? What do you think the biggest factors are into this? Then, what do you think's really dragged the box office down? Do you think it's the Ezra Miller situation? Do you think it's what's the point in seeing it? It's getting rebooted anyway. Do you think it's people just have lost faith in DC, or do you think people just don't care about DC in general? What do you think?
Um, do you know what I think? I, I'd say it's a lot of those factors, but they're only a little bit into it. I think probably the biggest part is it's taken so long for this movie to come out that the sort of average movie going audience, they're probably not going to be like too bothered about it, because they've probably heard their nerdy friend going about the Flash, and now that it's come out and it's kind of getting mixed reviews, people are saying they love it, some people are saying they don't like it. I heard anyone say they hate it yet. um it's certainly, like I said, I don't think it's a bad movie. I enjoy it. I think it's quite a bit of fun. I've seen it twice now. I wouldn't see it again, but it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know. I think it's just a lot of what's happened with Ezra Miller has obviously hit the movie. There's a lot of people that are going to look at this and go, "Oh, I'm not paying for a ticket because I'm then paying Ezra Miller," kind of thing. There's those people, and then there's the people that just don't want to go see it in general. People don't really like know the Flash character, for example. And then there's the people that are, you know, just DC haters for the sake of being DC haters. Um, I don't think the movie's being boycotted in any sort of way, other
no,
than
no,
maybe like Ezra Miller. But I think it's done okay. I didn't expect it to be like making loads of money. I can't lie. I know Michael Keaton was obviously in this film, but just with everything that were going on with the film and the production and how long it took, even Michael Keaton couldn't save this movie. From being like, I feel like if this movie released when it did and it was before the Ezra Miller stuff, yeah, it probably would have made a bit more money, but not ridiculously amount of money.
yeah, no. If do you know, this film would have made a lot more money. This was supposed to be the first film after the Batman, wasn't it?
I'm not sure.
No, it was
I think
supposed
it
to be
was.
Black Adam, then Flash. Now coming out after Black Adam might have hurt it a little bit, but coming out still that much closer to the Batman, where the faith in DC is a little bit higher, then that might have
Yeah, but
helped it a bit.
uh, yeah, but people obviously know there's a difference between the like even average movie audiences go to the films and like they see this DC film like, oh, it's part of all the Superman films and stuff like that, and Ben Affleck as Batman, because and then you look at the Batman, you can tell that's completely sort of separate.
Yeah, but there was marketing it all as one. Do you remember before the DC delays were announced? Literally the week of the Batman coming out, there was a big trailer, and it was this year for DC, and it was the Batman, Black Adam, Flash, and Aquaman.
Oh, I remember that DC thing that they brought out. Yeah, yeah. No, like, here's my one thing about the Flash, and I feel like for me it would have been more perfect. Book the Black Adam film. That film was just. I'd rather go watch Morbius. I really would, because there's just honestly, I'd rather go watch that because I found a bit of entertainment with it, so to speak, because of how bad it was. It's so bad, it's a little bit, it's a little good. Black Adam was just bad. It was cringy. The pacing was wrong. I didn't understand the story. I was all in for the film. The trailers looked great. I remember watching the trailer a couple of times when we went to the cinema. And I remember seeing the trailer. I thought this looks pretty badass. I reckon this could be a good, fun film. It was not. It was a terrible movie. Don't watch that film. Go watch Morbius instead. Or better yet, watch something good like.
Go watch The Flash.
Go watch The Flash. Go watch The Flash. It's better than that. But
it needs your money.
I wish it does. There's one thing I wish it would have done, the Flash movie, and it would have I would have been ultimately all round happy. It wouldn't have made it a 10 out of 10 or anything like that, but it would have really sort of, gave it like a nice end for a lot of the characters. And I know we spoke about it in the review where I said a lot of the characters, once they go off screen and they're done in the film, they're just kind of like, they're just gone.
Yeah.
I think like you said, the only character that got a sort of a nice good send off was Michael Keaton's Batman. When he was, you could tell that was like, oh, we're saying bye to Michael Keaton's Batman in the story now. We're moving on.
Yeah.
And whereas Ben Affleck, he's there and then he just sort of fucks off and disappears. You know what I mean? We never sort of see him again. Obviously, I won't go too much into spoilers, but I feel like you had all these characters in it. It would have been really cool to. It's not a spoiler because he's not in it, but Henry Cavill as Superman, if he just had like a nice little cameo in that, do you know what I mean? Rather than the shitty post-credit scene that they did for Black Adam, where they were teasing.
Something I want to talk about when we get to the Supergirl topic. That we'll talk about that. Yeah, I think a big factor of this film not making the money is DC haven't had strong box office numbers. Like if you'd have told people at the beginning of the 2010s, before the Avengers film came out, and before
Turn away, quite disgusting.
Yeah. If you'd have told people in 2016, a month apart from each other, we're gonna get a Batman vs Superman film, and we're gonna get we're gonna get a Civil War film, Captain America vs Iron Man. If you'd have said at the beginning of the 2010s, which film do you think is gonna make more money? Everyone would have put all their chips on Batman vs Superman, and it didn't. It was beat by Marvel's. Obviously they built them up, but it was beat by Marvel's B-list characters. DC's A-list was beat by Marvel's B-list characters. So DC's always struggled at the box office. I don't know, unless it's just a Batman film. DC has struggled. I don't know if it's because, Marvel is the most popular thing out there, and, maybe some people are like, yeah, Marvel, fuck DC, who don't know. Like, I'm rooting for both. So I don't know if it's that. DC's never done well.
Can I just say I'm kind of glad, because obviously how bad the Black Adam film was. I'm really glad that didn't make any money, because that just tells us like we're not getting a sequel to this film. I'd like to see Black Adam later on. I'd like to see a proper good, like a proper iteration of the character.
I'd like to see The Rock play him as well, but I don't want The Rock to be so far up his own arse and think the DC universe has to revolve around Black Adam. Because he's a C-list character at most. He's a secondary character to a secondary character. So
Yeah,
yeah,
there's so many ways they could have done that movie better.
yeah,
Obviously we won't go into it. We'll probably do it in like a discussion later on. But they could have done it so much better. Where Black Adam could have made more money. Or it could have been he's the villain in
Shazam,
Shazam 2. Do you know
which
what I mean?
which
Or
would have been
something
better.
like that.
Yeah,
Which would have been better. And then they set up. They could have done Shazam 3 where it's Superman and Black Adam and Shazam all together. Do you know what I mean? That
yeah,
would have been like their Civil War. And that would have made money.
yeah.
But
Oh no, like so, 55 million is $9 million short of Black Adam. I think a little bit of it has got to do with Ezra Miller. And I think you brought up a great point as well. Is this film was supposed to come out 5 years ago, and with delay, new director, new writers, new director, delays. It's just
people lose interest. Like if they turn around and said, "Oh, we're making a new Flash movie with completely new characters, a new cast, everything like that," this film would have made. Like I said, the Ezra Miller stuff does kind of taint it a little bit. Not as like watching it, but tainting it from making money because people will refuse to see it because Ezra Miller and all that stuff. But I guarantee you, if they took forever to make this movie, if they just got to a couple of years later and they're like, right, okay, this film isn't going to get made, let's make something new. It's kind of like what they did with the Batman. The Batman obviously was supposed to be starred and directed Ben Affleck's Batman. He was supposed to direct that thing, and then it just kept getting delays and delays and,
oh yeah,
and all sorts
and Ben
of crazy
Affleck was
things.
still attached to star as Batman even after he passed up the directing duties to Matt Reeves.
Exactly, yeah.
And,
He was supposed.
but
He was
I think
supposed to be
everyone kind of knew at that point. It was like Ben Affleck's not going to be in this film.
yeah. But I mean, and because of that, obviously they kind of changed shifts. They kind of left that in the dark, and they just created this whole new sort of Batman. If they did that with the Flash, I guaranteed it would have made a lot more money because it's something new, it's something fresh. People want to see that. People are going to be
Yeah,
like, "Oh, it's a new iteration of Flash. Let's go see that. It's completely new." Do you know what I mean? But obviously they weren't going to do that because it's not Batman.
yeah. A quick question leading off the back of this. Obviously, we've got 2 more DC films coming out before James Gunn, makes his DC universe a thing. When Superman comes out in 2025, I won't count the Joker in that. I think the Joker's coming out next year. So the Joker can, that did well anyway. So let's not include that.
You know what? Sorry, that's just another good example of like, look at the Suicide Squad movies. They had a Joker that everybody really hated. I'm pretty sure like 90% of people like hated that version of Joker. I didn't mind it. I thought it was just a different Joker, me. And then they release a movie where it's just a brand new Joker and it's centered on Joker, and that film made. Look how much money that
I'm
film
pretty
made.
sure it nearly made $1 billion.
I'm pretty sure as well. Yeah, it was just under it.
But yeah. So what? How do you think this bodes for Blue Beetle and Aquaman 2?
I think Blue Beetle will make more money than Aquaman 2, but I don't think Beetle will make that much money.
Really?
I don't think. Yeah, I think Aquaman's gonna be a real. I don't think it'll flop or
The first
bomb.
one's $1 billion film,
I know. But just with everything that's going on,
and
I think.
and all the nerds knowing this universe isn't carrying on, and which I don't think that should have anything to do with,
Do you know what? I don't think it's just that. I mean, look at the Fast and Furious films. Even Fast and Furious Die Hard fans are getting sick of those films. And that made like no money. And every time, they've not made massive amounts of money, but they've made money. This latest one, I'm pretty sure it's made the least amount of money in the past couple of years since what was it, Tokyo Drift?
It's doing good though in like foreign markets. Like, it didn't do great in America, but it's doing great in like foreign markets.
Yeah, I know about that, but I'm saying it's not making that much money.
No.
As they predicted. Aquaman 2, I just think it'll make less money than Blue Beetle, and I don't think Blue Beetle will make that much money. to be honest.
I think Blue Beetle's going to be the sleeper hit of the year. You heard it here first, folks. Now, just to, get it into, I think it's going to be a big hit with the Latin American population. I think they're going to go out in droves to see this. It's going to be their Black Panther. I don't think it's going to make Black Panther money. But I see it maybe opening weekend making the same as Black Adam. If they push it and market it well, because let's be honest, Flash was not marketed well because they couldn't. How are you supposed to market that film? Ezra Miller stars in The Flash. No chance.
I remember we watched something about them possibly changing it over to Batman Flashpoint.
Yeah.
That might have helped it a little bit. That would have been cool if they did that.
Yeah,
I think that would have helped. But
after the film, though, they couldn't have got away with that title.
It would have made too much sense with the title, but still, it probably would have made more money.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a real shame, but what we need to look at this isn't going to affect future projects. They're at the end of this DC Universe life cycle now, and they're burning out the rest of the franchise. What they've got, and let's be honest as well. When James Gunn's Superman comes out, that's not going to make a ton of money, I don't think. But that's going to be, the start of the building blocks. Start getting some of that trust back. Make a great film, and the people will come.
Well, obviously, people will go watch a Batman movie. It's fucking Batman.
Yeah, I think Batman's the only thing they don't have to worry about franchise money-wise. Actually, Batman's in this, but then again, Batman's also in Justice League, and that film didn't do too great. So, yeah. So, overall, bad weekend for Warner Brothers. I'm not going to say Warner Brothers is over. Oh my god, The Flash made $0. James Gunn's getting kicked out. This has got naught to do with James Gunn. I've seen all these thumbnails of people making with fucking James Gunn fucking, with tears in his eyes because of The Flash's opening weekend. This has got naught to do with him. He wasn't the CEO when this film got made. So, I don't know what that's all about. But Kyle, going on to, a film you haven't seen yet. Have you seen the first Extraction?
I can, but I can't remember it, and I'm glad I can't remember it because I'm gonna rewatch it probably tonight. Right. Yeah, I'm gonna watch the second one, but yeah.
Well, so if you haven't seen on the channel already, there is a review for Extraction 2 done by me. Go watch that if you want. I'll just lay it down here though in simple terms. I really liked Extraction 2 a lot more than the first one. And now they're thinking about doing an Extraction 3. Obviously you haven't seen the film, Kyle, but do you think this makes sense for Netflix to do? It's been trending, the first and second film have been trending all weekend on Netflix, especially in the UK. So, do you think this is a good move for them to do?
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of surprised that the film turned out. I've not seen it yet, but I know you said it's pretty good. I'm quite surprised about that because obviously it isn't Anthony and Joe Russo
directed. It was Joe Russo who wrote it.
Right. Okay.
And it was directed by Sam Hargrave.
Yeah, because let's be honest, it's Joe and Anthony Russo. They've not had a great track record after Endgame. I've watched all their movies that they've been tied to, whether they've produced it.
Yeah, you've really stayed on top of their stuff, haven't you? Since
yeah, because I thought I enjoyed that sort of theme of movies. You know what I mean? Like from Winter Soldier all the way to Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame. They've nailed all that correctly. They've got like their sort of tone. Like if you watch a Marvel movie now, it's missing something. It's missing that tone that those movies had. That's not to say they've got they haven't got their own tone. Look at Shang-Chi, that has its own tone. But this had their, the Anthony and Joe Russo sort of tone, and I was thinking, oh, that'd be cool to see, not in a superhero setting. And so far...
Well, I'll tell you right now, Tyler Rake Chris Hemsworth's character in this might as well be a superhero.
Ah, right, fair enough. Yeah. I mean, he's kind of going for that Captain America thing now with the shield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, no, I'm surprised and I'm glad that they've got a bit of a win. For them making a third film, I guess so because let's be honest, like Netflix has not had any big wins,
No.
I don't think, for a long
They haven't
time.
got...
It's
Well,
mainly been
Glass Onion.
documentaries.
It
Yeah.
is a Netflix film.
It didn't feel like a Netflix film.
No,
It didn't feel like, 'cause it's
definitely
not an
didn't.
original.
No, it's theirs. It is theirs. They own it.
No, I know, but I'm saying the first one, the
Yeah. Knives Out.
first the first Knives Out, that wasn't a Netflix film, and then he was still gonna make Knives Out 2, so it was just Netflix kind of like, yeah, we'll put it on our platform, make it exclusive to our platform. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was still in cinemas anyways, like limited films
Very
of it,
limited. Very limited
Yeah.
release. I have to see when Glass Onion came out, actually. Was it in December or January? Because if it came out in January, I'm thinking maybe we do a video, halfway through the year at the end of this month and do our top, instead of top 10, our top 5 for halfway through the year. And then when we get to the end of the year, we can do a top 10 for the whole year of movies. Just a nice little short video we could both have a little discussion about. But, Kyle, theory time. I've got a theory. An in real life theory for something I would love to see happen. So, we all know Marvel is being a bit more, lenient now with the ratings that they're getting. Deadpool's going to be rated R. The rumour is that Blade is going to be rated R now. The rumour is also Daredevil is going to be rated TVMA, which is the TV equivalent to an R rating. Sam Hargrave. I want to see this man do Punisher. We all know John Bernthald's coming back, and the rumour is that John Bernthald's going to have his own Punisher series after Daredevil. You'll have to let me know what you think when you've seen Extraction 2. But I would love to see this man do a Punisher series. Or direct one episode of the Punisher series. Because, obviously you watch my review, there's like a, I don't know if it is a 40-minute action scene. It sure as hell feels like that. It just keeps going and going and going. And I'd love to see that for an entire episode of a Disney Plus TV show. Just a one-take action scene like that. I think it'd be great. So, yeah.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people would like to see that.
Yeah. Well, Daredevil made one-take action sequences cool. People will say it's Old Boy. Nobody knows Old Boy. Everybody knows Daredevil. So, yeah. Quick thoughts on Extraction 2. If you haven't seen it, get out and see it. It's on Netflix. It's not hard for anyone. Just watch it. If they're making a third one...
I mean, it'll be pretty hard for them. You told them to go out to watch a Netflix film.
Stay in and watch a Netflix film.
There you go.
But yeah, if they're making a third one, I have not got a problem with that at all. If they can... They don't even have to up the quality. Just make it, as good as the second, or even as good as the first, even though the first isn't that, as strong as the second. But yeah, just keep it around that quality level, and we'll have a nice, fun action trilogy. Not compared to John Wick, but still.
I feel like a lot of films want to be John Wick.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this isn't as stylized as John Wick. This is very brutal. John Wick has its brutal moments, but it's very stylized as well.
Mhm.
But yeah, anyway, let's move on to
Is the director the same as director as the first and the second film of Extraction?
Yeah. He was a stunt coordinator, and he worked heavily with
that explains it.
Joe and Anthony Russo. Yeah, he nearly got his legs crushed in filming the first film. Do you remember the car chase? That's like gonna go from the building, and it's all one take down into the car. He was on the front of a car with camera, and you see it like on the behind the scenes, and he lifts his legs up in time because he nearly crushes his own legs on another car. Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, let's move on to my future wife, Sasha Calle. Obviously, she's just been in The Flash this weekend as Supergirl. A small role, yeah, but a very, very good role, an excellent Supergirl. Obviously, she's been doing interviews and stuff like that this weekend. Obviously, she's probably the only one on the cast who's allowed to do interviews, who's going out a lot, because Michael Keaton's old, he's not going to be doing a lot of interviews. I don't even think he went to red carpet. So I think the promotion of this film lies on the back of Sasha Calle, and she's been asked, are you returning as Supergirl? And, yeah. She says, I've had meetings with Peter Safran. If you don't know Peter Safran, that is the co-CEO of DC Studios along with James Gunn. So, what do you think the chances are, Kyle, that Sasha Calle comes back as Supergirl in a Supergirl project we've got coming up, Woman of Tomorrow?
Very high. I mean, she was great in this film. All the fan, like, I've heard no one say anything bad about Supergirl. I was expecting maybe, like, because they're gonna be. I was expecting, like, let's be realistic here. I thought I was gonna hear some people say, "Oh, Supergirl is, it's like the whole Ray thing, or something like that."
It's
People
too
just
derivative.
do you know what I mean? But so far, I've heard everyone loves Supergirl, and fucking too right. Everyone should love Supergirl. She's fucking awesome in this film. My complaint about that film is we didn't get more. I want a Supergirl movie with this Supergirl. She's awesome. Her character was so good, and the story, like, it meshed well with the story. Go see The Flash. If you don't want to see it for Ezra Miller, go see it for Supergirl, because it's awesome.
Yeah, Sasha Calle is great in it. And the thing that probably goes in her favour as well, the type of Supergirl she plays in that universe is like a not trusting, sort of jaded, version of Supergirl. The Supergirl film they're making is about Kara Zor-El being brought up on a shard of Krypton that's been blown off the planet when Krypton was destroyed. It's a much darker story. So her version of Supergirl, yes, she's only in about 15 minutes of The Flash, fits perfectly in to that Supergirl story, and I don't think audiences will be too confused seeing her pop up. I think she's, if you're gonna keep one thing from this film, it's got to be Sasha Calle as Supergirl, and I am very excited if it is going to be her. So let's say this, over or under 70% that she's going to be Supergirl.
Over.
What are you sitting at? Go on then. What are you sitting at?
I'm sitting at a solid 85 to 90%.
85 to 90. I'd probably be around the same mark, mate. It's you dumb if you don't bring her over. It's like I say, she's not from the established universe. She's from the Flashpoint universe. So she doesn't have to be written out for the reboot. Mm-hmm. It'd be like Daredevil coming back. It's like Charlie Cox coming back to play Daredevil. As of right now, as it stands, it's not the same Daredevil, but it's the same guy playing him. It's the same guy we all love. So, as I put it at like that level. So yeah, if she is in fact coming back, I'm super excited. Can't wait to see more of her. Maybe, hopefully, she's in that same Superman suit, because that one is more Superwoman suit or Supergirl suit, because that one's badass. I love the whole red at the top and then just tapers down to the blue.
Oh, I bet you do.
I love it. I love it. Sorry, Elizabeth Olsen, my heart is set on another woman now. She did have a chance for me, but she blew it. But that's alright. Because we're moving on to more DC, Kyle. So, do you remember about a month before The Flash came out, and Tom Cruise got sent a copy of The Flash? No? Right. Well, before The Flash came out, Tom Cruise got sent a copy of The Flash, and he wrote to Andy Muschietti, and he said he loved the film. Now, the theory is now, well, what the reports are now, is a lot of reports are coming out of the studio that in fact, was sent to Tom Cruise because James Gunn and Peter Safran are actually trying to get Tom Cruise on board with DC to play a character in DC. So, if you could see Tom Cruise playing a DC character, I think it's pretty obvious because the picture's right underneath me. Even though this man is nearly
Martian Manhunter.
That's it, Kyle. Yes, Martian Manhunter. I think he could do a good job at that as well. Do you think?
Be a different take on it.
Yeah. Who do you think Tom Cruise could play in DC? And do you think he'll even join the studio at all? Because notoriously, he likes a lot of control over his films.
I'd like him to do his own version of Black Adam. I think that'd be really, really different. I can keep that in. I don't know anything much about DC and their characters. I know Batman. I know loads about Batman. Who doesn't? And I know a bit about Superman, and Supergirl. All the rest of the characters, I have no idea. I don't know anything. Who does he look like he could play? I mean, yeah. I mean, look at the picture there. It looks like
Hal Jordan.
Or I should say. There, it looks like him. Do you know what I mean? Like, but looks only get you so far.
Yeah.
I mean, we could get someone that looks nothing like his comic book counterpart, and it'd be someone completely unexpected and different. We just don't know. But if we had someone like Tom Cruise come in and play someone, I don't think it'll be anyone. I don't think it'll be a very prominent character. Like, I don't think it'll be a Justice League member.
Well, here's the thing. You ready for Callum's theory time? I am now going to ruin the Green Lantern series with no insider information, just because I'm always right. So, I think a way they get Tom Cruise involved in this is say, look, we're not going to tie you down with a contract. We just want you for this 8-episode series on a HBO Max, or Max now. It's going to be really well written, and that's the Lanterns series. That show is supposed to be starring 2 Lanterns. Hal Jordan, which would probably be the one who I'd see Tom Cruise playing, and Jon Stewart, which is another Green Lantern. And I see maybe by the end of that, Hal Jordan's Green Lantern maybe dying, or, turning evil, or, going against the Lantern Corps, something like that. Because they say it's going to be very much like True Detective. Have you seen the first season of True Detective? Right, we won't get into spoilers here, but I see him maybe, I know he doesn't do TV usually, but he's also got a fun side. Look at Tropic Thunder.
I don't think he will. There's a not an interview, but someone questioned him on like a red carpet for a film. I don't know how long ago it was, but he said he only makes movies for the big screen.
Yeah. Now we need to take into consideration how long ago that was, because TV is becoming the new movies. So, yeah. But if there was going to get him, I think it would be, look, we just need you as Hal Jordan for just this little bit. And then that's it. Then you're done. You don't even have to return or anything. It depends how much fun he has, though, doing it. Now, but I'll give you this. Let's say over or under 50% that this man is in the DC universe at all.
What was it under?
I would agree. I would agree. I'd agree.
I'm never saying never, because we've got Ben Affleck as Batman.
Yeah, but that man was the biggest Batman fan his whole life. He had a Batcave built in his house.
I know, but it's still, you just don't expect it.
You ask that man to play Batman, it's like, does a bear shit in the woods? Of course it is. So, yeah, I'm still with you though on this, Tom Cruise. I don't think the chances are very high that he does it. you know, I definitely don't think he's playing Batman. I definitely don't think he's playing Superman. I mean, he's nearly 60 years old. No, he's over 60 years old. Looks great for his age. I'll never look that good at 60. But, yeah, if he were going to play anyone, I see it being Hal Jordan, because Hal Jordan is basically Maverick from the Top Gun films. So, yeah, definitely don't see him doing it. But if he did, I think he'd do a good Hal Jordan.
Tell you who I think would be good now that you mentioned Top Gun Maverick.
Now I know who you're gonna say. Is it Glenn Powell?
Is he the dude who plays Mr. Fantastic in that Fan Foster?
No. You're on about Miles Teller. I'm on about Glenn Powell, the one who plays, like the cocky pilot in it. I'm gonna send you a picture right now. And you'll go, oh yeah. This is who I want as Hal Jordan.
I don't know anything about the character, but I'm going to say Miles, because if he was going to come back to superhero films, give him his own thing. I feel like I've not seen Fantastic. I refuse to see it, but I feel like it'd be able to carry.
I always used to put Fantastic on when I wanted to go to sleep. No, I don't see. Now, look at your phone. That is a man who I see playing Hal Jordan.
Nah.
No!
Nah.
Right, when he's cast as Hal Jordan, you get to lick my ass. How about that?
Honestly, he was quite forgettable in that Top Gun movie.
He's great! Glenn Powell's great. He's been in loads of great stuff. Right. Anyway, let's talk about possibly what is going to be the best movie of 2023. Without a doubt. Morbius 2. I mean, Kraven the Hunter.
I was going to say Morbius the Hunter then, but...
now,
what if in this film, Kraven is hunting the deadliest animal of them all?
Man.
Morbius?
I would love to see Kraven just wrap a bear trap around Morbius' head. But, Now, this is interesting. This is coming out in October, because I'm assuming it'll be near the beginning of October, so we're getting double Kraven content in October. We're getting the film and Spider-Man 2. Oh, what if they came out on the same Friday? We'd have to go see Kraven as soon as it came out. We couldn't not see Kraven, Kyle. I don't think Sony would pit their own project up for failure, though, against the Spider-Man game. Because all the Spider-Man fans, if they've got the opportunity to go out and watch Kraven, are staying and play Spider-Man. They're staying in and playing Spider-Man.
So Spider-Man and Kraven, and Miles, and Venom.
Yeah. So, what do you think of this trailer?
I was on board until he started pouncing about like a cat.
Yep. Me too. Because when he were pouncing around like that, it looked like Morbius. And then I had flashbacks to Morbius, sitting back in that theatre, and us two just looking into each other's eyes going, is this film really that bad?
I have lost hope and trust in Sony when it comes to making these villain films. The only bit of trust I have is for Venom 3. When they're doing this now, after Morbius, after the fuck up they did with that whole post-credit scene as well, I'm just like, whoa.
Now, come on, but we've got Madam Web coming, and
I'm interested to see that, but I don't think it'll be any good.
And
apparently, there's a variant of Spider-Man in that film, and he is. I think it could be really cool. It could be like a really great idea, kind of like how X-Men Origins was. That was a really cool idea, and it was a shit show. That's how I think this movie. Maybe not this one, but definitely Madam Web. I think that's how it's panned out.
What did you think of the radioactive lion blood?
I don't know Kraven's origins, but...
No, neither do I. But I don't think that's it. I'm pretty sure he's just a man in the comics. But
I'm pretty sure as well.
If this works for their story, then fair enough. That's, if that's how they want to do it. you know, there's got the bit of him pouncing off the wall and stuff like that, and there is some ganky dialogue in there. But you know, I want to. If this
The
film,
dialogue was not good.
you know, if this film can be, you know, as cheesy as the line was when he goes, "Where's Mister So and So?" and he goes, "He's standing in him." It's a cheesy line, but it worked for the trailer. And if this is going to be, you know, 2 hours of Kraven wrapping bear traps around people's heads, I'm up for it. It's just I feel like all the action they've shown us is probably going to be in like the third act of the film. And I've got a feeling we're going to have a very slow film up until that point. Now, I don't know. But because we haven't seen it, I don't think anyone's seen it yet, apart from studio execs, obviously.
You know what I'm really worried about? What I'm genuinely really concerned about?
Go on.
Is if this movie turns out to be really good.
Why be concerned?
Because it's like, why couldn't you do that with Morbius?
If this film turns out really good, then that's, you know, that's great.
It is, yeah, no, I know, but I'm just like, it's just gonna make Morbius hit differently, especially like the Venom films as well. Because let's be honest, I like the Venom films. I don't love them. I'll put my hand up in the air. I like them. I do not love them. I couldn't rewatch them like a Marvel film or whatever. But Morbius, man, Jesus, what the hell were they doing in that film? You can look at the trailer and look at the film. There's scenes that cut. There's CGI that's not even there in the trailers. And yeah, with this film, with my thoughts, the action looks cool. Yeah, as soon as the action looked cool, as soon as he started pouncing, no, stop it.
What do you think of his animal communication powers? I'm going to start calling him Land Aquaman.
Landman.
Landman.
Landman the Hunter.
Yeah.
No, I think it was okay. You know, it could be done really cool. I like how he does the eagle vision where he like sees through like the eagle's point of view. Kind of reminded me of like Assassin's Creed, you know, the RPG games where you scout bases and stuff.
Yeah,
That was kind of cool. That was cool. Now there's a little shot in this. I think it's like towards the end of the trailer. We're getting Rhino,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
we're getting a genetically altered Rhino. I don't know how I feel about that because the Rhino I like is not the mechanical one, but the one where he's really buff and he's just wearing sort of a grey suit.
So you like big buff men?
No, I'm just saying every iteration of Rhino that they've done in games and stuff like that, that's always been the best one for some reason. I think they did like a genetic one in the first Amazing Spider-Man game, and you had to fight him, and it wasn't that great, quite forgettable.
Yeah. I just saw a guy in a big mechanical rhinoceros costume.
So when I see this, I'm thinking, it's the same with nanotech. Do you know what I mean? They're just making him big and buff and ugly and whatever.
We haven't seen the whole thing yet. Could look great.
It could, yeah. But I mean, you gotta think if they're doing that, it means we're gonna see a guy with a big fuck off horn in his head, and I can't imagine that'll look pretty.
One thing I do think is pretty. I think they've nailed like the costume for Aaron Taylor Johnson here. I think the costume as a whole here in the poster, I think that's great. I think that looks fantastic. There's no doubt in my mind that that's Kraven. Now, I don't think he's going to use that costume in the film at all. I think it is going to be literally like a post-credit, put that thing on and sit down somewhere on his human skull throne. But
I'll say this. As soon as I heard we're getting Kraven the Hunter and he's being played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, no doubt in my mind that he won't do a good job. You know,
he will do the best that is given with the material.
Exactly,
I've got that in mind.
Yeah, exactly. I've always seen Kraven as like a much older, not elderly. You know, he's not got a walking stick, but he's definitely aged up a bit. He's a bit more experienced. Here we're getting a Kraven that's Looks like, you know, he's got all the weapons, he's got all the tools, he knows what he's doing. It doesn't look like really. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be an origin story for him, so to speak, but it doesn't seem that way. It seems like he's Prime Kraven, but as far as I'm aware, Prime Kraven is always a bit older. I mean, in the comics, he fucking kills Spider-Man. Well,
now, let's say they're setting this man up to fight Venom. You know, obviously he needs to be a bit stronger, and
I'm not saying any of that. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with these films because.
Well, neither does Sony, but.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't see him fighting Venom. No way.
Yeah. If they really need a bit of brand synergy, because if they're not going to do that, I mean, not everything has to be a crossover, but you've got these comic book characters and you're making solo films for them. I can imagine in the Sony lot they're going, oh, we need to connect to these and have a big, obviously they're trying to make their Sinister Six film.
Yeah. Which is annoying because Venom, like, if they're doing a fresh take on Sinister Six where they're doing other villains instead, alright, cool. You can't do that now. I mean, Venom 1 and Venom 2 don't really set it up for that. They don't really. The second one doesn't really expand the universe.
It's already been tainted with Morbius.
And then you've got Morbius, which, all the things that were sort of even in Venom 2, there was all those fake, well, not fake, but some of them were real, where it was like on-set photos of like where's Spider-Man on the side of the thing that says Daily Bugle on a bus. There's no universe building. I know we've said about Sony, and obviously with the previous films, the Spider-Man, especially the Amazing Spider-Man films, especially the second one, they try to build out this universe to put all these characters in and do a Sinister. Here, they've taken that to heart with these films, these villain films, because they're not building a universe at all. The only reference we got of Venom being in the same universe as Morbius is one of the cops says, I think it's pretty sure it's like Tyrese's character in Morbius. He said something about
San Francisco.
It don't even say what it is. He just said that thing in San Francisco. Obviously, it's meant to be a thing to Venom, but that's it. That is literally it. There's no connective tissue there.
But doesn't the greatest actor on the planet Earth say to one of the people in his dodgy pharmacy? He goes, "Who are you supposed to be?" He goes, "I'm Venom."
Oh yeah, he says that too. Yeah, but that's not building. That's not fleshing out a universe. It's not. It's really not. They're just doing
just laying subtle seeds here and there.
Not even that. Like, if you weren't me, if you were like an average moviegoer and we weren't, say if we weren't Marvel fans and we went to go see these movies, we wouldn't fucking know they were connected.
No, and I think that's it with the early days of the MCU. You very much knew they were connected. You'd go in, Phil Coulson from Iron Man is in Thor. Robert Downey Jr. is at the end of The Incredible Hulk. Captain America Shields in Iron Man 2. And then Howard Stark is in Captain America, the First Avenger. So
I feel like that's what these movies need. I feel like they would have done really well if they had sort of a character that acts as the glue and is in sort of like it. I mean, they do it in fucking Daredevil and Defenders. You've got
Rosario Dawson's.
Yeah, you've
Claire.
got her. She's sort of like the glue that's in everything, basically, and
until Luke Cage put the glue in her.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
But you get my point. That's what it needs. It needs either something that's going to connect them, but do it the way that the people have done it before, Marvel have done it before, and just have a character that's sort of in the film. Don't do it like DC though, where it's just. I'm not going to spoil anything with the Flash, obviously, but there's characters showing up for the sake of showing up. It's like, why? Yeah.
Just a quick question off the back of this one, Kyle. Will you be getting the Morbius hot toy?
Ironically, I will be getting it. Yeah.
Not even opening it. Not even opening it, are you?
I think it'll be too hard not to. Because do you know what as well, right? Not taking the piss here, but the hot toy actually looks pretty good. The hot toy looks pretty sick. I can't lie. It looks pretty nice. I'd like to have that displayed. It's just I'll never watch the film ever again. I've seen it once. I'm never watching it again.
My Moon Knight should be shipping next month.
I think I'd probably like put if I had to put Morbius in with another hot toy, it'd probably be with like in the background
With
of
Venom.
Yeah, in the background of Venom.
Like just like between Venom's legs, you can see his legs. Yeah.
I mean, fuck it. I might even just get the hot toy and just fucking throw away the figure and keep the stand. I mean, I don't need it, but it's there.
So, what you rating the trailer then out of 10 for Kraven?
A 6.
A 6. I'd probably give it a 6, but I'd also give it a. I've gone from really dreading this movie to being all right. I'm a little bit intrigued now. I'm not excited. I'm not fucking marking October on my calendar or all like that, but I'm intrigued.
There's one thing though. It comes off still that Kraven's a bit of an animal lover because I don't know if he like refuses or he's hesitant to shoot that lion.
Yeah.
At the start, and it's like he's a fucking hunter. He's not an animal. I don't want to see it. Obviously, animals get hurt and stuff, and it's a real world issue and stuff like that. But so was World War Two. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's hundreds of movies, hundreds of stories.
Kyle,
being
did
told
you just
about
compare World War Two to a lion getting shot?
Well, it's a real world issue. Like animals are going extinct all the time, and it is a bad thing. And there's there is bad people doing that.
So you're telling me you would trade?
No.
The actions
I know
of
where you're
one.
going.
But
I'm not. No.
so you're telling me you would rather have all them people get on?
Why is someone called Kraven the fucking hunter, right? And he's an animal preserving person. Like he would rather protect the animals. It doesn't. I mean, if he wasn't, if he was Kraven the hunter and he hunts down people, he's like more of like an assassin type thing where he hunts down like like say like Morbius where he's a bit more like a metahuman kind of thing. He hunt down these people with these abilities or whatever, right?
Manpire.
Fair enough. Why the fuck is he dressed like a lion? Why is it all very animalistic and themed? It doesn't make sense.
Because he got the blood of a radioactive lion in him.
But why is he sitting on a throne there with antlers in the back?
Because they're not animal antlers. They're mantlers. They've come off men.
I don't know how I feel about going to see this film, to be honest.
So
I probably will see it on day one, but my hopes are high.
So
even with Aaron Taylor Johnson attached.
So you're telling me, if this film comes out the same day as Spider-Man, you're gonna drop your controller and go see Kraven the Hunter? Do you know what we need? We need it to come out the day before, so we can see Kraven and then Spider-Man the next day straight away. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah. Also, another thing. Since when the fuck was Russell Crowe in this film?
That was a bit of a red flag for me.
I was like, I didn't see any casting announcement for that. Maybe like a year ago there was or something, but it's not something I remember. I remember seeing him in the trailer and thinking, the fuck?
Yeah, I just know he's going to be wasted in the film. Like, he could be a great fun character to be in the film, but I know he's just going to be wasted.
It's when he turns round to Kraven and he says, "You are not invited to the orgy."
It's the thing is, it's very tainted on me. It's because they wasted. Like, I couldn't give a fuck about Tyree. He's in the Fast and Furious films. Like, I liked him in Transformers, but he was no fun at all in Morbius. He was such a bland, boring character.
Yeah, he was
Um,
also one of them actors who doesn't research what they're doing, and when he was asked if it's connected to the MCU, he said, "Oh yeah, it's a Marvel film, so yeah."
um, he could have been a great fun character in that, but he was just boring and bland. And I think some of his scenes were cut.
Well,
Um,
he's been campaigning for years to be John Stewart in the Green Lantern film or series, whatever they do Green Lantern wise. So no pleas to that for Tyrese Gibson. Go cry again about your music.
the biggest piece of dog shit I have ever seen. No, Black Adam was. Um, th- like I said, I'm thinking they're just gonna waste Russell's character in this, just because they wasted a fantastic actor. I've not really seen him in much, but he was phenomenal in Chernobyl. I don't know his name. He's the main guy in Chernobyl. He's the main scientist.
1 minute, the fucking name was at my head then, and then it's gone.
Because he was in Morbius, and he was playing this. I'm pretty sure he was like an adopted father figure or something. But he was just massively wasted in that
It's
film.
in my head. It's in my head. Jared Harris.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't know if that's correct, but if that's it, yeah.
Because I said is.
They wasted him so much in Morbius. He could have single-handedly probably saved that film. Do you know who I fucking forget who's in that film? Matt Smith.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The
Because
little-
he redeemed himself, later that year as Daemon Targaryen, and everyone completely forgot.
Yeah.
He went from dancing Morbius memes to probably the best Targaryen ever put to screen. He can keep his tongue.
Because he's what? Because he's a cunt.
Yeah. So,
Hell yeah.
I think that'll do it for today's show, Kyle. Obviously we're both super excited for Kraven, the Morbius. So, yeah. Anything you want to add before we sign off?
Secret Invasion tomorrow.
Secret Invasion tomorrow, yep. We'll probably do a video where you can see us together. So Kyle's not my AI-generated girlfriend. So that'll be pretty cool.
You know what? I just going off topic a little bit, but do you know in the Spider-Man game, and they've revealed the suits that's in like the pre-order deluxe edition or whatever? I heard someone say, and it was the perfect way to describe those suits in the pre-order. There's literally online. Someone said there was that they look AI generated, which I thought was perfect.
They do. Yeah.
But yeah, Kraven the Hunter. I'm a Marvel fan. I'm a big Spider-Man fan, obviously. But
and if there's anything we've learned over the past couple of weeks is, I'm gonna have to do my best to get Kyle's DC knowledge up. So I'm gonna spend a weekend drilling it into him.
I'll say this as well. After Morbius,
you lost faith in humanity. So did I.
Unless we go in and just kind of go in just to laugh at the film, if it turns out to be bad, I'm probably gonna pass on Kraven if we hear that it's not that good, because I can't be
Kyle,
wasting my time on a bad film.
It's your job now. You've got to.
I'll just lie and say I've seen it, and I think it's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Right, here's what we're gonna do. Here's something fun. If we get 100 subscribers by the end of the year, me and Kyle will watch Morbius on a loop for 24 hours straight.
Want one of those live streams?
Yep.
Alright, I'll do that.
If we get 100 subscribers by the end of the year, we will watch Morbius for 24 hours straight. Sound fun?
I could see myself killing myself at the end of that, but yeah,
sounds worth it.
For that.
So yeah, anyway, that's been Kyle. I've been Callum. This has been Movies and Beyond. Like, subscribe, share, show us to your mother. And if there's one thing we found out today is Kyle thinks killing lions is worse than the Holocaust.